Coaches and players from all 15 Atlantic 10 teams gathered in Washington, D.C. for Media Day earlier this month. I talked to all of them, as well as the commissioner of the conference, Bernadette McGlade, and we'll be sharing parts of our conversations in long and short-form content as the season approaches. Today, I'll be sharing my conversations with Commissioner McGlade, Richmond's Roussell and Maggie Doogan, Davidson's Gayle Fulks and Issy Morgan, UMass's Mike Leflar and Stefanie Kulesza, as well as George Washington's Caroline McCombs and Makayla Andrews. Locked On Women's Basketball starts now.
You are Locked On Women's Basketball, your daily podcast on women's basketball. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello and happy Friday. You are Locked On to Women's Basketball. I'm Natalie Heavren, and I'm a features writer and the Atlantic 10 beat reporter for The Next. Thanks for making Locked On Women's Basketball your first listen every day. And remember, Locked On Women's Basketball is free and available on all platforms, including YouTube. You can start the season with a big return on FanDuel. Place your first $5 bet, and you'll get started with $200 in bonus bets guaranteed. Visit FanDuel.com to get started. If this is your first time listening to Locked On Women's Basketball, we at The Next have over 100 reported pieces every single month. We have a beat reporter on every single WNBA team, one on more than 15 different NCAA beats, so get that YouTube subscription up. And you can also support us by subscribing to The Next for $9 a month or $72 a year at thenexthoops.com. Today, I'll be sharing parts of my conversations with Commissioner Bernadette McGlade, Richmond's Roussell and Maggie Doogan, Davidson's Gayle Fulks and Issy Morgan, UMass's Mike Leflar and Stefanie Kulesza, as well as George Washington's Caroline McCombs and Makayla Andrews.
So joining me right now is 810 Commissioner Bernadette McGlade. Just starting off, what do you think the state of the league is in terms of women's basketball? How does it look this season, and how's it doing on the business side?
Well, actually, I think the state of the league is really good right now. I think we're coming off a really phenomenal year last year. We were on the cusp of multiple teams into the NCAA championship, and I think we ended up having like 4 teams going to the postseason and see the women's NCAA NIT version of the NIT. And so I'm feeling good about it as far as, kind of the business aspect of it. We feel great about that. We're at Henrico Sports Arena right outside of Richmond. Really have established ourselves as a home for our 8-10 Women's Championship. We're looking forward to building on that after our first year, which was last year.
And, you mentioned NCAA tournament bids. Do you think the league deserves more, and do you think it's working to becoming a multi-bid league?
Yeah, I do. I actually think the last 2 years that we had teams that were right there on the cusp and that we should have had multiple teams in it. At the same time, having served on that selection committee, I'm well aware of all of the challenges of evaluating each and every team. But I do think when you're looking at teams that have 20-plus wins, playing, super competitive schedules in the top 10 in the overall net conference rankings, they're all very strong indicators that this is a league that deserves multiple teams.
And, there's been an expansion in your TV packages. Now we see the conference tournament quarterfinals are going to be on Peacock. How do you hope to continue to expand that TV footprint?
Well, we have 2 different carve-outs in our media contracts. One where we can actually do some syndicated regional games on linear TV. And so we'll make every effort to continue to do that. And as you know, the regional games, especially conference games, have a lot of interest. And so they're, you always want eyeballs on your games. And so that's important. But I also will continue to work with not only ESPN, but NBC Sports and also CBS Sports, so that we'll continue to get, if we can't get full games on, that we certainly want to have great features that are within our current package for our national games.
And where do you want the league to grow overall in the next few years?
Well, I think we really want to grow just in our number of teams that get into the season, multiple teams into the NCAA championship, because I think every student athlete, every coach, that's what you aspire to. They're aspiring first to finish very high in their league, secondly, to win their conference championship, and then thirdly, they have the opportunity to advance into postseason to win a national championship. So we are clearly focused on that. I think we feel great where our championship is. we feel great where all of our members are supporting our women's basketball programs, even our home game schedules, our non-conference schedules, our facilities that we're playing in. It's really shows the strength of the A10.
And, with that, UMass is playing in its last year this season. Are you looking in realignment to add a 15th team, or what do you think the optimal number of teams is in the A10?
Well, being a 15-team league, we're large anyway. So with UMass leaving, and of course, we're very disappointed that they're leaving, but at the same time, that decision was based primarily on football, and so we understand that. We've worked with UMass for many years knowing that that was going to happen. But 14-team conference is still a big league. We will always look at potential new members. Is there any panic or any rush that we have to get back to 15 or go to 16? No. At the same time, is it to say we never will? I won't say that either. So we'll keep our eye on the ball, but our 14 members that will remain after UMass departs are really strong members.
And, how have you seen the A10 grow in recent years, specifically in women's basketball? And, where do you hope to see women's basketball in the A10 in the next few years?
Well, I've seen it grow with just the type of non-conference schedule our coaches have been building. I've seen it grow with the caliber of head coaches that have been hired in the league. I've seen it grow with the interest of the venues that want to absolutely host the A10 Women's Championship. So in all those areas. And then I think it's also a great tribute in terms of seeing even our top two teams, St. Joe's and Richmond, who also got voted preseason #1 again. Both of those teams have a high number of returning student athletes. So you know what? Our most talented student athletes are choosing to remain at their schools. And as you know, this day and age with the transfer portal, that's really important. So I think they're like 4 really important growth steps.
And, what do you hope to see from the A10 this season in general?
We'll take like 5 teams in the NCAA. What I hope to see is that we have really a great non-conference show. And we have some teams that are in very strong MTEs. So as you know, you have to get that work done first. And then that we're healthy by the time we get into our conference play, the latter part of December, and that we have a really competitive non-conference. We're looking to push, as you know, this wave and this growth of women's basketball in terms of the media attention. Hopefully will reflect on more fans at our games, which then is more excitement on campus. And then we want to just leverage all of that right on into our A10 championship in Henrico the first week of March.
And how much have you enjoyed seeing the growth of women's basketball just in general, as a former college women's basketball player?
Well, as a former player and as a former coach, it's just phenomenal. And as I mentioned, I was on the selection committee myself. I can't even believe my last year was 2000. So that's like 24 years ago. And, we were pushing the envelope for all the things that are happening now for women's sports. We just celebrated the 50th anniversary of Title IX. So some people think it's happened overnight, but the success and the popularity of women's sports and women's basketball in particular has not happened overnight. And my generation, my teammates that I played with, their children are the athletes on all of our teams right now. And so it's almost been the second generation of the Title IX baby boomers that are really reaping the benefits. And it's just been great fun. Every time I turn on the TV, whether it's a college game or the WNBA games, it's phenomenal. And I think it's just, the success is well overdue, but I'm not taking that for granted to continue to make it an exciting game.
And you've mentioned the conference tournament in Henrico. The first season was last season. What successes did you see in Henrico last season?
Well, we had our first 2 sellout sessions, so that certainly was great. And I think also the fact that we had some additional corporate partners jump on board. I think we'll see more community involvement this year. And the facility itself is actually, they're here today. They've come up from Henrico, from the Richmond area, to be part of Media Day. And so it's a group of sports enthusiasts, and that they believe in A10 women's basketball. And they're embracing our championship to really make us feel like we are at home in that facility. And I think that's critical. So we're going to try to do more community outreach, get the young girls and kids involved, and then hopefully have another, sellout capacity crowd when we're on ESPN on that Sunday.
And, you have a couple more years in Henrico. What growth are you looking to see there and in the conference tournament beyond, wherever it may be?
Well, I think what we'd like to do is to get more sellout sessions. And I think we can do that. Depends on the matchup. And again, we're in a really great footprint there where a lot of our fans can actually travel to the championship by car and or by Amtrak train. So I think that's a real plus, and we'll certainly look to that. And then we're going to look to see that if we can't do more partnerships with not only our local sponsors, but also with the local community. So there's some of our top priorities.
And, looking ahead, is Henrico a place you'd like the conference tournament to continue in, or are you looking at other areas as well?
Henrico could certainly be a permanent home. The facility is great. The seating capacity, it's a brand new facility. It's an essential location for all of our members. And so, we certainly want to embrace that as long as they are embracing us. Will we ever go anywhere else? Who's to know that? But for right now, we just extended another year. So we'll be there for 2 more years for sure. And we're excited about that.
Coming up next, I'll share my conversation with Richmond head coach Aaron Roussell and junior forward Maggie Doogan.
Locked On Women's Basketball is brought to you by Hims. Your sex life is important, but your schedule is busy. You don't have time to go to the doctor's office to get treated for ED. Through Hims, you can get a personalized ED treatment without stepping foot outside your door. Hims is changing men's healthcare by providing access to affordable sexual health treatments from the comfort of your couch. The process is 100% online. Just answer a series of questions on their site, and a medical provider will determine the right treatment option. If prescribed, your medication ships directly to you in discreet packaging for free. No insurance is needed, and one low price covers everything from treatments to ongoing care. So start your free online treatment today with a visit at hims.com/lockedon. That's HIMS.com/lockedon for your personalized ED treatment options. hims.com/lockedon. The products mentioned are chewable, compounded products which are not approved by or verified for safety or effectiveness by the FDA. Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Both of you, what excites you about this upcoming season?
Get back to where we were. But I'm just really excited just to get playing again. I mean, we have a lot of people coming back. And we have a lot of new faces. So I'm excited to just have like a new kind of swagger, I guess, and play with my best against it.
Yeah, for me, it's just a new experience, and I think this is not a continuation from last year. So there's nothing that you feel, you get to the end of the season, there's pressures that come with that. We have very high expectations of ourselves right now, but this is a build process. I think this part is fun. You're trying to build an identity of your team. Like I said, maybe you get some boost from last year's experience, but there isn't any game that we won. There isn't any score that counts or tallies anything for this season. It truly is a unique and new foundation with this squad.
And then, for both of you, based on your practices so far, who's someone who's really elevated her game over the summer, or that we should keep an eye out?
Katie Hill. I think Katie's been, been such a stalwart for us for 3 years. But I just think she's gotten better. And she's been somebody who, you see the preseason rankings and everything come out, selfishly, I'm like, man, what are these people missing? Why, how is she not getting the notoriety that she deserves? But, I just think she does a lot of things behind the scenes. There's a lot of things that we don't always show up in a box score. Just a very versatile player on both sides. I think she stepped up her game. And then, I think Allie Srini's somebody that just had a really, really good offseason. She didn't play a lot last year. I think she wants to make an impact out there. And then I know you asked for one, but the one out there with Anna Camden. We really thought she was going to be such a huge part of our team last year, and I thought there was a big hole from what we thought our team was going to be when we didn't have her, and still being able to accomplish everything last year, but then getting that added bonus for being on this roster this year, and I think adds another dimension to this group.
And what does Anna bring to the team off the court as well? I know she posted about dressing up to grandma for media day.
I think personality-wise, it's great, but I think so much of that is it meshes with our team right now. I think we have a lot of great personalities right there, and so I think she is able to have a great relationship with our seemingly goofy freshmen that come in right now with maybe a 5-6 year age gap, but just kind of clicks. And it's not always like a motherly thing, although I think there's a component to that, but just able to kind of hang out and have fun with this group. I think on the court, just the experience that she has. I think sometimes that gets downplayed. When she looks at everything our team has accomplished, or individuals have accomplished in a Richmond uniform, I think she sometimes doesn't give herself credit. She was a Big Ten starter. She made an impact with a very, very good player. She never played another basketball game. She had a great college basketball career at Penn State. And so I think just playing off of that, I think especially right now, when you look at the schedule that we have, and while it can be daunting, I think hopefully she can kind of give us, kind of be that rock a little bit that gives us hopefully a little bit of confidence as we enter our season.
And what excites you about that non-soccer?
There's other words, maybe besides excitement, but I think I'll sticking with that. I think this is something that you don't always get, right? Maybe you get one big game, you get one big time opponent. Our schedule's littered with it. You got a Texas, you got Tennessee, you got all of these schools. Oh, by the way, there's a Columbia, there's a Fairfield, there's a Georgetown, there's Temple to start the season. Like these are all heavy hitters, and I think as you try to build normal rosters, you're trying to have some of those games to see what you have in the conference. This is every single night. This is going to be an opportunity for a result to help you at the end of the season. If you're fortunate enough to be in that group that gets into the tournament or gets a chance to be qualified for a chance to be a chance to get in there and on the board. These are great opportunities, and I think hopefully we're trying to get that across to our players right now. These are opportunities, but we got to really work for those right now.
And what is early impressions of the newcomers, and do you both feel you contributed?
Well, it's different this year because we talk about newcomers, and so many of the kids that we're playing upon have had big-time college careers also. Steph at JMU, she's played in NCAA tournament, right? There's a few of us here that have. She also has done that. Faith Alston was, one of the best players in her league last year, led her league in assists. Sam Dewey coming from the Big Ten, Alyssa in a minute, it's like these are kids that have had great careers other places, and these are new kids, right? I do think we have some freshmen right now that can come in and make an impact. This is maybe one of the few times where you're looking at the newcomer class really has more experience than even a lot of your kids that have been on your roster for a while.
And Coach, what are you expecting, or what excites you about the A-10 as well this season?
I think coming off of last year is, literally one of the best leagues in the country. And I think, everybody talks about the Power Four world and all of this stuff. But there were some very good teams in our league last year that, obviously we got an opportunity to play in the NCAA tournament. I thought our team played very, very well. Some of the teams that didn't also made some pretty nice, postseason runs last year. And so I think just the caliber and the style of play right now, people talk about our non-conference schedule. Felt like we had to do that to be prepared for some of the top teams in our league. Brett talks about the non-conference schedule right now. You've got St. Joe's twice. You've got Davidson twice. Obviously, you still have Fort Mason. You got VCU twice. The conference schedule that we have right now is quite fair as well. But I also think this is a group that wants that. I think it's a coaching staff that is asking for that, and very, very excited about that part of it.
Coming up next, we'll hear from Davidson head coach Gayle Fulks and senior guard Issy Morgan, UMass head coach Mike Leflar, and fifth-year senior guard Stefanie Kulesza, as well as George Washington head coach Caroline McCombs and graduate student Makayla Andrews. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Hey NFL fans, you can start the season with a big return on FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. So when you get a hunch in the middle of the game, you can check out the latest stats, view live play-by-play, and so much more on the same page where you place your bets. You'll get started with $200 in bonus bets guaranteed when you place your first $5 bet. That's FanDuel.com. Game 4 of the WNBA Finals between the New York Liberty and the Minnesota Lynx is tonight, and it's not too late to bet on Game 4 and who will win, as well as who will win the series and who will win the Finals MVP. The option to bet on Breanna Stewart, Sabrina Ionescu, Nafisa Collier, Jonquel Jones, Kayla McBride, Benijah Laney Hamilton, and Courtney Williams. Looking ahead to next season, you can also bet on who will win the 2025 regular season MVP. You can also bet on women's tennis, golf, soccer, MMA, boxing, as well as the PWHL, all at FanDuel.com. Davidson head coach Gayle Fulks and senior guard Issy Morgan.
Now, for both of you, you're on the top third of the conference, running minutes and points. Where do you think the team has improved the most or been able to add more to what you did last year with their offense?
I think that we've gotten just better overall. Each individual player has gotten a little bit better, which I think makes them better. And as we head into the next season, we feel like we had kind of the blueprint for being great, and now it's just about getting healthy and kind of get back after it.
And based on your practices so far, who's someone who's really elevated her game?
Definitely Millie Pryor. I think that she is a little underrated within our conference right now, but I believe that she's going to be somebody that's going to take a huge step forward, both offensively and defensively. I believe she's one of the best defensive players in our conference, in addition to having a more expanded offensive game.
Yeah, she talked about in January wanting to expand her range a little bit more. Was that something she was able to work on this offseason?
Absolutely. She's been knocking down threes every day in practice, and she's been, getting Issy a few more assists. Yeah. So I think it's been fun to see her development.
Issy, what did you focus on over the summer?
I think was in the gym a lot this summer, so hopefully able to translate that strength, like be a little bit more aggressive offensively, particularly at the rim. And I just think same old like speed, what's my acceleration? Explosiveness, and just always defense. So just trying to really level everything.
And then what excites you?
Our team is so exciting. We have a lot of girls who've been away from basketball for too long who are just dying to get back out there. And then we've got so many girls fresh off AAU in the summer, just great people. We love playing together so far, and we're just dying to play an actual game together. So it's so exciting to go into practice every day and just know you're getting closer and closer towards the goal.
And then for you, coach, what are you expecting or what excites you about the team as a whole this season?
Yeah, I think the strength from top to bottom. A lot of players decided to return, and I think that speaks to the quality of our conference and the depth of our conference. And I think just on any given night, we've got 5 games on national TV, which I think is going to be very exciting. But every day is going to be a dogfight. It's a great conference from top to bottom.
And then how have you seen Issy grow this season, this offseason?
I think, Issy has always been a great leader for us. And I think that what I've seen from her this year is just somebody that's really got the command of the whole team. And she's just with us stepped in and second coach on the floor for us, or I guess a sixth coach on the floor for us now these days. But, she just has such a command of our offense and our defense, and knows how we like to do things, and just does a great job modeling that for everybody on any given situation.
And then, Coach, what excites you about your non-conference schedule this year?
We've put together a talk, opening with Florida Gulf Coast, a team that's been in the NCAA tournament pretty much every year since I can remember. I think it's going to be a great test for this early. And then from there, it's we go up to Cincinnati. I think that's going to be a good test against the Big 12 team on the road early on. Go down to an MTE. I think just when you look at it, all the Power 5 teams that we've chosen to play are Power 4 teams now. It's because we got great confidence in our program, and we want to be playing against those guys in March. We want to be playing against them really any day of the week, to be honest. And I think that's what you're going to see is just a team that's really well tested going into conference play.
And then for either of you, what do you think some of the strengths of the team this season are?
I would say, we're really balanced. I think that we can score inside, we can score outside, we can shoot, we can drive. Across the board, we just have great length as well. So I think on the defensive end, there's been some moments where, just some really wow defensive moments have happened by more than one person, really, from everybody. And so I think that's probably what excites me the most.
UMass head coach Mike Leflar and fifth-year senior guard Stefanie Kulesza.
Both of you, what excites you about this?
Yeah, I'm excited. Just the energy in the gym, really since the summer. Personalities that we've added, our returners, the buy-in from 1 through 14. I've been excited about it. Just eager for us to keep getting better and keep working together and for things to tip off.
And, again, for both of you, based on your practice so far, who's someone who's really elevated her game this summer, or we should keep an eye out for?
Well, I think for us, one, Steph's done a great job. She was our most consistent UMass player last year. So I'm just excited for her to continue to do that and take steps. Ali Palmieri, someone who is eligible to compete for us this year. And she was maybe, one of our best stars in practice day in and day out last year. So to see her on the court, I'm really excited about that.
What did you work on in the offseason?
I just want to be consistent this year. I want to be the best possible leader and player that I can be. And I just really want to be consistent in those two things. And we have our saying it's competitive vocal together. So I just want to be super consistent in all three of those things and have that throughout the season.
Yeah, Steph is being modest because she had a summer internship with Pfizer outside Philly this year, and it's something that she communicated with me about as she was going through the interview process last year. Again, that's what I want our program to be all about, and I certainly trust Steph, appreciate Steph enough that I was all in on that internship for her. She was obviously off campus this summer, but trusted that she would put in the work, and she waited a point to come up for a long weekend to hang out with our team and to kind of meet players. So I thought she set a great example in many ways. What the experience I want for our student athletes, but also, showing backup and being all in on this experience.
George Washington head coach Caroline McCombs and graduate student Makayla Andrews.
For both of you, what excites you about this upcoming season?
I think for me, it's just all the new faces that we have. We have 9 newcomers, and just to see them all come together every day. It's a process that we're just committed to, but it's fun, it's exciting. We're teaching, they're learning, applying all of those fundamentals, and just having fun together on the court.
Yeah, I would piggyback off of that. It's been fun getting to know everybody and meshing all together. And I just can't wait to be able to play together against another team.
And then, based on your practices so far, who's someone who's elevated her game over the summer, or that we should keep an eye out for this season?
Yeah, well, like I said, we have 9 newcomers, but from our returners, just one player, Marty Sims. She's got returning leading score from last season. And she's just a fun player to play with. She's very unselfish, and so she can make open shots, but she really tries to find the open player. And so I just really appreciate that. It helps the team to get excited, off of a nice assist and those dump down passes that she makes every day.
Is there anyone that stood out to you?
Yeah, I would say Kamari Sims as well, but I would also give a shout out to Sarah Lewis. I think she's very aggressive on the offensive side. She gets into the paint, and she's also a really good defender.
And then, for you, Coach, who has stepped up in a leadership role so far?
We have one senior on our team this year, Maxine Engel, and just, she's been a staple in our program now for 4 years. And I can't say enough about her leadership. She leads by example, but she's also able to have the tough conversations, right? And the honest conversations that's coming from a good place. And so, Maxine has just done a terrific job in helping integrate all the new players into our program.
And then for you, Makayla, you bring 102 games of experience from Lafayette. What do you hope to bring to GW this season?
Yeah, I just hope to bring what I know how to do best, which is, play hard, play aggressive, basket, and also defend.
What are some of your early impressions of the newcomers?
Yeah, I feel like still learning all of the newcomers, but, we have some veteran experience, like you talked about Makayla and just all of the games that she's played under her belt. There's nothing like playing a college basketball game, but she's played 4 of them, all right, 4 seasons already. And so just that experience, on the perimeter to lead some of our, newcomers. Paige Mott, she's played in the Big Ten. She has terrific post experience on offense, and on defense. And so those are 2 of our grad transfers. We have Mariana Planes from Bryant in her 5th year as well. And so those 3, was something that was really important to us, getting that veteran play leadership as we focused on those recruiting in the transfer portal. As far as newcomers, in first years, Gabby Reynolds has just been a spark for us. She handles the ball, she shoots the ball, she's still understanding and learning what college basketball is like, and that's why that veteran leadership is so important for us. Morgan Matthews, another terrific perimeter player, just the versatility, the length, the athleticism that those 2 possess. Miriam Diala in the post, she's just competing for a spot, and she's doing a terrific job competing against Paige and Kaya every day. And so I'm just really excited about the energy that this group brings.
And then, for you, Makayla, what did you work on in the off season, or where do you hope your game has improved the most since last season?
Yeah, for sure. Something that I'm consistently working at is extending my shot. So, I can get to the basket, I can shoot mid range, but really being more consistent on the 3-point shot and being more of a threat out there is what.
How have you seen her grow in the last couple of months?
Coaching Makayla over these past couple of months has been a lot of fun. And I think a couple of weeks ago, she came in, gave me a big hug, and I was like, all right, like we're getting there. Like we've made tons of progress, because it's like, how do I know this new coach? How do I trust this person? Like, what does that look like? And I think that stuff takes time. And so we've been working on building all of those relationships that really matters to me, to everybody on our staff, to our players. And Makayla already mentioned, the 3-point shot. And that's something that, we're going to get her wide open 3-point shots, because we're going to have great penetrators. We're going to have outstanding spacing, and we want to get inside out threes. So for her to be able to knock down that shot consistently, she's going to be really successful on the basketball court for GW this season.
Thank you, listeners, for making Locked On Women's Basketball your first listen every day. For your second listen, check out the Locked On NBA season previews on Locked On NBA. From the East and West contenders to the potential tanking teams, a 6-episode series with everything you need to know about the NBA season. Find Locked On NBA on YouTube or wherever you listen to podcasts. And make sure to tune in here tomorrow to hear from our WNBA draft crew.